Hey guys, what is going on? Steel Twins coming at you with episode 4, part 1 of the Steel Twins podcast. Today we are going to be talking about the New York Jets, the preview, coming into week 4 at Heinz Field.
Right, our second home game this season. Can the Steelers get their first home victory against a Jets team that, let me just say, they're not what they used to be. They are not what you would expect from the Jets. Now, they are still the Jets, okay? They're not they're not a laughing stock column yet.
Well, of course, you know, they're the Jets that we all know of, but
they're getting there.
they are a growing team.
In fact, I like a lot of their roster. Zach Wilson is ideally going to be their future, and he actually might be getting his first bit of action this season. He might actually get his first start of the season. Otherwise, we will see Joe Flacco, who obviously Steelers Nation and the Steelers and Mike Tomlin know very well.
Yes.
A lot of history between Joe Flacco and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's crazy to think that Joe Flacco, think of this, and I don't mean to make you guys feel old, myself included.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that Joe Flacco is actually one of the few remaining active NFL players that's played against the 2008 Steelers defense, the mid-2000s defense.
Yeah.
Steelers defense at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. And he's actually been very serviceable for them.
But coming into this game, we are anticipating Zach Wilson starting.
I mean, he has all the tools around him to be very successful. Their running attack is very good, honestly.
And very young at that as well. They got Michael Carter and rookie Breece Hall.
Right, both who have actually shown a lot of versatility so far this season. They're going to be a nice 1-2 punch down the road. Their receiving group's also nice. Garrett Wilson, first rounder this past year. They got Steele and Elijah Moore last year. Corey Davis was a solid free agent acquisition a couple years ago. So, I mean, they have a nice receiving trio right there.
Yeah.
And, again, Wilson has the weapons around him. The O-line is still a little suspect, mostly due to injuries. They have Max Mitchell at right tackle, I believe, and George Fant, I think, at left tackle.
Yeah.
They're doing solid, but they're not all there yet, which brings us to the Steelers' point is, although Zach Wilson could be getting his first bit of action, let's welcome him to the season with some pass rush, which has been little to non-existent the past 2 weeks because TJ Watt's been out, and that's going to remain the same up until before or after the bye. So this pass rush has to step it up. Alex Highsmith currently leads the league in sacks quietly. He needs to keep going on his hot streak right now. Now, he's been a little quiet himself, but he's coming off a sack-and-a-half performance.
Of course, you know, Highsmith having to be the number one with Watt out, you know, you see growth in Highsmith. Yes. If anything, you see the development coming in game by game for Highsmith. So he's got to continue that.
Yes. Same thing can be said for Malik Reed. He has been non-existent. He has been dead in the water. He has been quiet. It's like no one's even on the field. At this point, we'd be better off with no one on the field. That's how quiet Malik Reed has been.
Yeah.
Zero pressure, zero effort in the running game. He's been nothing ever since filling in for Watt, and he's going to remain as the fill-in for Watt. Unless we have someone else in mind we can put in that starting role, but I don't see that happening. So Malik Reed seriously needs to start stepping up, along with this entire pass rush, which includes the front seven altogether.
Yeah.
Even the defensive line, which obviously leads us to, I doubt they're going to really give the ball a lot to Wilson in this game. I don't think they're going to lean on him so much, but we have to force the Jets to lean on him.
Yeah. So that means stopping the run. And the Jets are very capable of running the ball with Michael Carter and Breece Hall.
Yes,
both guys are young. Both guys are effective. Both guys are versatile. Both guys are, in my opinion, going to be very good down the road in the NFL.
Agreed.
So we got to stop the run there.
But we haven't been able to stop the run almost all season, outside of week 1.
Yeah.
Ever since then, the run defense has been very last year.
Very last year, and again, it goes back to TJ Watt being out. His impact is so felt on that defense.
Right. But we have Hayward there. We have Alualu there, who's really starting to show his age, unfortunately. We were all excited for his return.
Yeah. I mean, we still have guys, don't get us wrong.
Yeah, of course.
We got capable guys. They just have to show up.
As a matter of fact, our front seven outside of Watt is all starters.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Which is a little concerning. I understand Watt's absence is incredibly seen, but...
And I don't know what kind of changes they could make with Watt still being out. All we got to hope for is that they grow and show up.
Right.
They get the job done.
Possibly more potential player rotations. Maybe we get some Loudermilk in there. Get some more Montravius Adams in there.
The Marvin Leal, he's been, He's been pretty solid in rotations.
Right. So this entire front seven has to step up in terms of run defense and absolutely pass rush. And the secondary has to do better, especially at Keller Witherspoon. He has an injury from last week, but he had the mini bye to kind of rest a little bit, so he should still get the start this week opposite Levi Wallace. But Witherspoon's having a rough start to the season.
Yes, he is.
He's really giving me PTSD for that number 25, and I don't want that. We were all happy for Witherspoon last year and wanted him to bring him back, and we got him back, and here he is just not showing off.
No, he's let Jamar Chase run all over him. He let Nelson Aguilar run all over him. He let Amari Cooper run all over him.
Right.
This upcoming week, he could let Garrett Wilson run all over him.
Right. And we cannot allow that.
No.
So if he is playing, needs to step it up completely. Shout out to Levi Wallace, though. He's been doing good. Other than that, the secondary just got to, make plays.
And we got to try to get some turnovers.
Yes. Versus the Jets, we absolutely have to. However, for the Steelers offense, man, what do you want me to say?
What can we honestly expect from the Steelers offense? I couldn't tell you what to expect. There's nothing to expect.
There is absolutely nothing, man. Mitch Trubisky's going to get the start to a lot of people's chagrin.
Yeah, I know, because everybody wants Pickett, and like me and Dan said, we want to see Pickett, but I don't know
how soon it's going to be.
And I don't know when Tomlin's going to throw him in. And we all know how Tomlin is. He sticks to his word. He's very stubborn.
Yes.
He doesn't really sit guys immediately, especially since Trubisky is a captain for the Steelers.
Right.
So we might be seeing Mr. Trubisky for a bit. But at the same time, this could very well be Mr. Trubisky's last chance.
Absolutely.
This could be the last straw for Mr. Trubisky.
Because Rob and I have, said it, even during the preseason, that we'll give this offense, we'll give Mitch Trubisky the first month, the first quarter, 4 weeks of the season to see where this offense lies. And what we've seen so far, granted, again, that's not all Mitch's fault. It is not. But he is also not really helping much himself.
No.
With locking down receivers, forcing passes,
missing receivers wide open,
holding the ball on too long, taking unnecessary sacks, not seeing the entire field,
and accurately throwing passes.
So there's our little, I suppose, criticism for Mitch Trubisky. But again, it's not entirely his fault.
No, it's 50-50. Trubisky's part of the problem, but at the same time, so is Matt Canada.
Right.
And I think that will continue to be the problem, even whenever Pickett comes in. But that will happen when it happens.
But it's a bad mix between Canada and Trubisky right now.
Yes.
Their trial is in Rob and I's opinion, it's 1 week left. Most of you guys are already given up. And I don't blame you. I don't. I'm almost at the brick of that. But I'll give it one more game.
And this is the Jets. Listen, like we said, they're a growing team, but this is still the Jets we're talking about here. And when we look at the schedule ahead of us before the bye week, this is, compared to every other team, the most winnable.
Most winnable game. And honestly, this very well could, if we win this game, this could very well be our last win up until the bye week. Because, and I'm just being real here. I'm not trying to be negative and this and that. I'm just being real here. Because, again, I didn't come into the season with many expectations of winning or Super Bowl bound or playoff bound or AFC North champions and this and that. I'm just being real here. After this Jets game and you look at our schedule, there's not a lot of people out there saying, oh, I can see the Steelers beating the Bills. I can see the Steelers beating the Eagles. I can see the Steelers beating the Dolphins.
I can see the Steelers beating the Bucks. I don't know, man.
So this is our last winnable game. And honestly, I'm not feeling that confident because I don't trust this offense. And even I'm starting to sink lower with the defense, which is a shame because we thought we could lean on the defense. And I know Watt is out. He's going to be out for a little while now. But God almighty, this defense needs to step it up. And this offense, I can't say they need to step up because how long have I been saying that? Years.
But the thing is, they have to step it up. They have no choice but to step it
You're
up.
right.
Mitch has to step up. Canada's got to open the playbook a bit. They have to target the middle of the field. They have to be more aggressive, more effective.
Or more easily run the ball. Every week, our yards per carry has increased on a weekly basis.
And a big part of that is actually the offensive line. The offensive line, surprisingly, has been the best part of the Steelers' offense.
And we still can't get nothing going.
No.
So get something going. Run the ball. Get some long, sustainable drives. Help your defense out. Use Najee. Use Warren. they've been a few bright spots of this offense. In fact, the only bright spot outside the line when they're actually being used. But the second you stop feeding them the ball, the offense is what we've seen the last 3 years.
It literally collapsed.
So run the ball. I know the Jets' defense has improved. They have a defensive coordinator as their head coach, Robert Saleh. I think he's the right guy for them in the future. He's a defensive genius. He definitely improved that defense. Their linebackers are a little iffy.
But the front seven is young. It's got some veteran experience there.
It's got first-round pedigree all over it.
It does.
Jermaine Johnson, Solomon Thomas, Quinn Williams. They even picked up Carl Lawson a few offseasons ago.
Yeah.
So it's still trying to mold itself, but it's got that pedigree. And I'm not underestimating it one bit.
No. Not at
Even
all.
their secondary is probably the best part of their defense. Jordan Reed is such an incredibly underrated safety. He can do everything you ask him to do. That's how good he is. He's an all-around phenomenal defensive player. LaMarcus Joyner's not what he used to be, but he's very serviceable.
Now, that safety tandem, though, it's quite underrated. Whitehead and Joyner.
Sauce Gardner's having a real good start to his rookie year. DJ Reed is a speedster alongside him. So, I'm not underestimating this Jets defense one bit.
Nope.
But I'm also not anticipating much from the offense. All I ask is you get a sustainable drive using the running game. And that helps the defense out incredibly. It gives them rest. Most of the blame is not really on the defense these past couple of weeks. Although last week was definitely shameful with Cooper killing us and Chubb and Hunt doing what they usually do. But the offense also wasn't helping, especially in the second half when they were 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
And that's the thing with the offense. You know, you look at the first 3 games. For the first half, they actually, they have some sparks. They have some moments. They look decent maybe.
Yeah, because they obviously show the ability of going tempo, of getting down the field, of getting creative, of mixing things up.
But the second half, they fall asleep.
And I don't get it. So
Maybe that's the only thing. Maybe that's the only thing I will expect coming to this game because they've shown it the past 3 weeks.
Right. So
And that's sad. That's sad.
Heading into this game, man, against the Jets, they're not the same Jets, but they are still the Jets. I'm not confident. But this is also, in my book, looking at the schedule, I think a lot of you guys would agree too, this is our last winnable game. There are no excuses if we lose to the Jets. Truthfully. Zach Wilson's probably getting his first bit of action. So, pressure him, use a run game to help out the defense. Defense has to force turnovers and help out the offense. So,
And the offense, they just do something.
This is their last week of trial for us. Most of you guys have already given up, and I don't blame you. I'm about there with you.
And if the offense does nothing in this game, then Tomlin may have to put his foot down and may be forced to make changes. Even if he doesn't want to, he may be forced to.
And that change could be a coordinator spot because the Steelers players, the locker room vibe is so disgusted with Canada. They haven't said it, but there's subtle shots. They're not in favor of Canada.
Yeah, they're not holding back.
But more favorable, when's it going to be Kenny Pickett time?
Could it be in the middle of the game? Does Mitch play bad? Does he throw turnovers or cause turnovers? And does Tomlin put Pickett in mid-game? Does that happen in this game?
Does he start next week versus the Bills, depending on Mitch's performance, depending on the offensive performance? I don't know. I don't anticipate Pickens starting yet, but what I do anticipate is this offense not doing anything. Prove me wrong.
Please. That's all we ask. Prove us wrong. Go out there and put on a banger.
So I'm expecting another very defensive game here. The offense has the spark to put on some sustainable drives and get some points on the board, but they're not consistent.
Not expecting much into this game, but at the end of the day, try to go out there, do what you can, try something new.
And let's get a fucking W.
Let's get a win.
So here we go, Steelers, man. Let's get this dub
Let's
in
go to
Heinz Field.
And let's go to 2-2.
Let's get a home victory. Otherwise, let us know your guys' thoughts down below. We'll be live for the game this Sunday with our boy Steel Sermon again. He'll be joining us this week for the Jets game, so you guys can look forward to that. Should be a fun live stream, live reactions. But Steelers Jets, Heinz Field. Let's get this dub. Here we go, Steelers.
And like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!